Hey everybody, how are you today? It's bright and cheerful Monday morning. So today we're on Startup Problems 101, and one of the big problems that I keep on coming back time and time again is that people are doing it for the money. Now you may say, Dennis, what are you talking about? Of course, if we start a startup, we're in it for the money. We're trying to make money, and that is true to a certain extent, but it's not everything that we're in it for. So let me give you an example of a few people I've worked with over the last few years. Okay, so the first one was a guy. And everything came down to revenue maximization, which is another way of saying, how can I get as much money out of my customers as quickly as possible? And what happened was that, yeah, he had a good product to start with, but then everybody got nickeled and dimed. The staff got nickeled and dimed, the suppliers got nickeled and dimed, and it was like, nobody wanted to work for him. It got harder and harder to keep and maintain relationships, and as a result, I think he lasted 17-18 months, something like that. On the other hand, last year it's about Christians wanting to make a change in the world that they believe that their God is calling them to do. Another is a group of equally devout Muslims who believe that Islam gives them a very different perspective into the way that the world works, and that will enable them to create really effective startups that create vast amounts of money and value for people. And both of these approaches, they've got their ups and downs. One of them looks like it probably is going to fail along the way, but there is a huge qualitative difference between companies like these, where people have got a very strong cultural rock. They have got some belief that tells them these are the right things to do. Yeah, we need to treat our customers well. We need to make a difference. We want to create good change in the world. And there another group of people who say, okay, the final arbiter is, do we make money? Selling kidneys of kidnapped kids is legal? Bango. Let's go out and do it. If it's not illegal, we'll do it. If it is legal but might not be ethical, we'll still do it because it's going to make money. And that is the difference between, say, a company like Enron, who was always focused on the money, and it led to endemic corruption throughout the organization with massive ethical problems, and companies like Cadbury's or other Quaker-driven organizations in the UK and North America that said, right, we're here for our customers first, our employees second, and then our shareholders and ourselves third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, because the fundamental belief is we must do an amazing job for our customers. We do an amazing job. That comes first. We create value, and then everything else carries on from that. Let me give you another example. No, let me have a sip of Coke. Let me give another example. I was talking to a banker this afternoon, one of Asia's larger banks, and he was saying, well, we're very conservative, and especially with the recession, we're becoming even more conservative. So I sort of straight away, quick as a spark, I sort of quoted Mark Twain back at him, and I said, well, a banker obviously is somebody who lends you an umbrella when it's sunny, and when it rains, they want it back. And I said, fundamentally, what you're doing here by having a very money returns focused approach on your business, you're turning every interaction with a customer into a transaction. And if everything there is a transaction, what separates you from all your competitors? Because fundamentally, I'd been with that particular bank for 30 plus years, but if now they're treating it as a transaction, then what reason have I got to stay with them? What reason have I got to be loyal to them? And then slowly you see the brand disintegrating, and lots of brands, this has happened to over the years as they focused increasingly on commercial benefits rather than on consumer benefits. So what has this all got to do with startups? Isn't this a little bit big picture? Well, no, really, because when you're starting a startup, yeah, you've got to have the idea to start with. Then you've got to go out, you do the customer discovery, start understanding the problem and where you're going. But then what you need to do is you need to have this cultural rock, this big bloody fucking stone that says, this is what we believe. Yeah, it's way before vision and values and mission statements. Yeah, you don't even really have to to sort of say it that much out loud, but it must be clear what's important to you. And when you've got more people in the group, there are more than one founder, you've all got to go around the table and agree that this is a cultural rock that describes you, that the business is based on this. Religion was one that I argued with when I talked about earlier. Friday, I was talking to somebody possibly we're going to do a startup together with, and we talked about a few things. We realized that politics is definitely not the rock, so we're never going to go there. But we did realize that we got a common sort of cultural rock in common, that in everything that we do, it has got to create value, which is one of the cultural rocks I've been talking about during this session. So where are the red lines? What are they? Where is the space where culturally you feel safe, you feel confident, where you have got balance, and where you are going to stand? And it can be a lot of things. For me, if I work in a business where I'm not exploring, yeah, a business that is held in on itself, that's not a good place for me. Cultural values are very different to mine. So wrapping it up now, yeah, spending a few minutes right at the beginning of your startup. You will come back to this again and again and again. Spend half an hour, 30 minutes writing down what your core cultural values are, what you believe. You don't need to turn it into bullet points or any of that sort of corporate bullshit just yet, but find that place to stand and then know where it is going forward. Because what this does is, once you've got this place where you can stand, it then has an impact on everything else that you do as you go along. I'll give you an example of somebody who didn't get the cultural rock, or he chose the wrong one. Travis Kachelnik, I pronounced that wrong, sorry, at Uber. Yeah, it was hustle, move fast, break things, don't worry too much about the law, just get market share. And that going forward slowly wrecked the internal culture of the company and made it a very sexist, very unpleasant place to work. Now, spending a little bit of time understanding what the right culture is, so that you've then got that thread going forward, saves you so much time as it goes along. It gets everybody on the right path, and it provides a touchstone, a thread to find your way back when you get lost. And so final words today. Almost the first thing that you've done after you've had your idea and you've gone out and done your initial customer discovery interviews, figure out what the most important cultural things are for you. What are the red lines you're never going to cross? Do that. It saves you a shed load of time and pain later on. It is especially important because it stops you having a culture by accident, which then will mean untold management hours trying to change people's behavior, sacking people that you know, that you like, but they just don't fit. Yeah, don't do it. So spend 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes today thinking about what culture you need at your business, and then put it on one side and get back down to the real business of customer discovery, figuring out what your customers want, understanding them, empathizing with them, and making a difference to their lives. But don't forget your culture, because that also makes a difference. Anyway, I'm Denis Oakley. I do business model innovation for startups and entrepreneurs. Press subscribe. I try and live stream every single day. Every day is a focus on one or more problems that startups have and will tend to kill them. I don't want you to be doomed. 9 out of 10 of you are. Watch these videos. We'll change the odds for you. Have an amazing day. Bye. End.